Let's get started.
All right, everybody, and welcome to the Bonus Stage Podcast. This is episode number 14. We're recording this on Friday, November 9th. Not Monday, Friday, November 9th.
Always Friday.
2012. As always, we do this show each and every week, Friday nights, except for next week, but we'll get into that in a second, on at vgpodcast.com/live. This is a weekly gaming geekery kind of news show. So we talk about games, we talk about game news, we do reviews, we do lots of other kind of gaming related stuff. We talk about anything gaming, essentially is what I'm trying to say. Each and every Friday.
In a roundabout way, that's what you're saying.
I could have just said it the easy way, but I'm trying to fill some air, I guess what's happening.
Because this show's not going to be long as it is.
We don't do 2-hour episodes. What are you talking about, Jeff?
Yeah, what are you, our marathon shows of Friday nights worth of no content somehow go 90 plus minutes.
Yes, exactly. So anyway, as always, I'm your host, Lloyd Hannison, and joining me and sporting his spiffy collector's edition watch, Jeff Ward.
Yeah, my James Bond watch, man. This is I love this watch.
I didn't even know that you were wearing it. I just guessed because of your tweet earlier.
Because I tweeted 2 pictures of it today, because I went to see Skyfall. Which, by the way,
nerd.
Yeah, no, man, this movie is friggin' awesome. It's a great Bond movie, and it's not, in the 90s, Bond got really cheesy, after GoldenEye with gadgets and, one-liners and stuff. This is a real return to true Bond force. A fantastic movie. You guys got to go see it. And I was wearing my Quantum of Solace limited edition watch, and I felt a little like Bond because it's one of those things where...
Does it shoot lasers? I gotta ask you right now.
It doesn't. It doesn't.
Damn it.
But for those people in the chat room, if you can see it, it's got 007 on the second hand, and then on the inside of the band's got 007 and stuff. But Omega, which is the company that makes these watches, only makes 5,007 every time they do a run.
Okay.
And the Skyfall watch just came out, and I really, really want it, but they're like $4,000 basically. This one was $5,000, but I bought it for $1,000. So.
What? Are you kidding me?
No. Somebody bought it online, and he was a watch collector, and he was selling. He didn't want it anymore, and the price had dropped severely. So he's like, you can have it for $1,000, and it came with all the documentation. This is actually the first. This is 0001 of 5,007 watches.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's great. Hey, they're making fun of me in the chat room. I'm used to them making fun of you, Jeff, but now they say, says the guy who has all the Skylanders. That is right.
14 episodes, and I finally got the crowd on my side.
I'm sorry.
It's not a replica.
This is how it feels, Jeff. I all these weeks I've been giving you the gears, but it doesn't feel too good. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
Now Lloyd will get the taste of the cyberbullying that I face once a week.
Kidding. So anyway, before we get into what we've been playing in the rest of the show, I just wanted to have a quick announcement for everybody out there. I don't think I've introduced you, Jeff. Jeff Ward, my co-host. You're here every week.
Yeah,
everybody knows you, but I thought I'd introduce you anyway. Just so you guys know, we won't be doing a show next week. I'm going to be traveling for business, unfortunately. Heading down to Florida, which is kind of nice. We have USO's girl in the chat room who actually lives there. I'm going to Orlando, which is kind of nice. So she told me that the weather is quite warm, which is great. So I'll be going there. This will be great. So there'll be no show on Friday the 16th, but we will be coming back on the 23rd. And maybe before that, we might actually have a, I don't know, an unboxing of the WiiU, which comes out on the 18th. So
I would say that if we're going to film that video on a Sunday, I'll have it ready Monday at the earliest, most likely Tuesday.
Cool. So we'll
and that'll probably also have a first impressions video bundled along with it. We're going to have to talk when we get together and figure out how we actually want to have it presented, if it's in 2 parts or just one.
Yeah. And I mean, I'm not super like stressed about getting it out in a timely manner. Yeah. There's going to be enough videos out there for people that are doing the unboxings and things like that. But I just want to kind of maybe have us sort of give our opinions on how the Wii U is. So we'll be picking that out. I'll be arriving, sleeping, and then getting up and going to stand in line for the Wii U, essentially, is what it is. So it should be pretty interesting, and you'll get to see a really super tired Lloyd, which will be fun.
And in that video, we are kind of just like testing out a little bit of how maybe the future of this show and its kind of goings on will go in the future. So
totally,
I'm actually really excited to put something together. It's been a long time since. Well, no, we actually never showed that PS Vita review video I did, because that was more of a demo.
Yep.
But that was a long time ago we put that together. That was back in February. So I'm excited to start doing videos like this again. I think it'll be fun.
Yeah, no, I definitely I agree. I think it would be a good idea to kind of do some other stuff, kind of throw some stuff at the wall and see what sticks. And that'll
Absolutely.
This will be kind of the I don't know, the first step in that. So anyway, I guess the short story is there will be no episode next week. We'll be returning the following week, maybe with some other stuff popping up on the website before then. So gives you perfect time to send us your questions, your thoughts, and everything. If you have any questions about the Wii U, send them in, vgpodcast@gmail.com. It doesn't have to be about the Wii U. It could be about anything. And then we can hopefully talk about that in the next episode, or while we're doing our unboxing and such for the Wii U and all the related games and accessories and stuff that I get suckered into buying. Because I'm going to EB Games, so you can't leave there without them asking you if you want to buy 27 other things. So who knows what I'm
Do you
want
to get scratch protection on that disc? It's only money you won't miss.
Yeah, it's only $3. I've never scratched a disc.
Are discs that fragile anymore?
I mean, if you have kids, yes. Like
really?
My kids took a DVD off a shelf, and next thing you know, there was a huge scratch and it didn't play anymore. So I can understand that, but I don't let my kids touch the games. I put the games in and out of the systems, and they're 5 and 6.
There's so many home you can just put toothpaste on a scratch on a disc and rub it in, and that will 9 out of 10 times, unless it's a really deep gouge, fix the disc.
Yep.
I've never ever bought scratch protection because I think it's a rip off.
Yeah, exactly.
I think it really is.
It is a huge ripoff. So anyway, we'll be doing some Wii U coverage over the next couple weeks. No show next week, but we will have lots to say the week of the 19th.
But that's okay, because this is going to be a big show. We got tons of stuff to talk about.
Yeah, we're talking about a small little game that came out this week. We thought it was an independent title, and we thought we'd give them some coverage because they're not getting enough. The name of this episode is HAL0Z, so that kind of gives you a little bit of a hint as to what we'll be talking about.
And it's kind of a public service announcement too, because I think this game is really good, and I want other people to know about it. And I really don't think that they have the money to do the marketing for people to get behind this game. So
it's a small we'll 3-person team. So I mean, they don't really have the money.
Yeah. They're a new company. They've only been around for a few years. So
actually, what Jeff really wants to do is get me to buy the game. He keeps talking about how awesome the game is. I really do. And I'm normally a day one Halo buyer. I for every Halo game that's come out, I bought it on day one, waited in line, did the midnight thing. With the Wii U coming out the week after, and I'm looking at like like $5 for the console and all the games and accessories. No, turning off. No, don't want to see that. Oh, the video's been shut off. Jeff's video's gone. I just said, yeah, you know what? I can't do it. But as I get closer, I really want to do it. I'm actually like really tempted to go buy it tomorrow. Which really kind of sucks, because then I'll only be playing it for a little bit before leaving on my trip. So anyway,
it'll be a fun couple of hours though.
Yeah, it definitely will be. So anyway, we'll be talking Halo 4 in a little bit. let's get into new releases. So this past week.
What about what we've been playing?
Oh yeah, sorry, I skipped right past that. Jeff,
Okay.
what have you been playing?
This week has been a little bit hectic in just kind of things that I've been doing, but I've had some time to sit down and play some video games, and I have done so. Simpsons Tapped Out came out with a new no, sorry, not a new release, but a new update. I guess it's their Thanksgiving update, which I thought was weird because I didn't think that they would do an update before Christmas that wasn't Christmas, but I'm happy that I don't have to squish zombies anymore, because that got to be kind of annoying at the end of the month.
I'm the exact same way as you. I was getting tired of opening the game a couple times a day and having to kill zombies. I'm glad they took that out, and now all of your graveyards just give you money instead of
which is great. Like, and the Hell House and all that kind of stuff. Yeah. It gives you a lot of money too, which is fantastic. So I've been playing that, buying parade balloons and having a blast. The game also seems to be quite a bit more stable network-wise. I know last week I talked about my issues with just connecting to EA's Origin servers.
Yep.
I have not been kicked out yet, so that's a good sign.
Nice.
I don't think anything's changed my network-wise because I haven't done anything diagnostic-wise, so everything seems to be good. And it's a really fun game, and it's actually kind of changed the way I play it. And I really like that I don't have to squish zombies anymore. This is a really fantastic game, and we'll talk about it for weeks. And I don't want to spend too much time on it, but if you haven't downloaded it, it is free and it is totally worth your time. So definitely pick that sucker up.
I didn't put that in what I've been playing, but I've also been playing
because it's kind of a given at this point, right?
Yeah, I play that and the Skylanders Lost Islands. I play that pretty much like 10, 15 times a day, just doing stuff. The really cool thing about this last release is it released Channel 6 News with Kent Brockman, and cool. There's a DLC version of the bee guy, whatever his name is, the bee guy. And so you can get
Bumblebee Man.
Bumblebee Man. So you can have Bumblebee Man run around your city and spew forth really bad Spanish that doesn't even make any sense. So
awesome.
So I really like this game, and it's making a crap load of money for EA, so they're going to keep updating it like crazy,
which is fantastic because they should, because it's really worth its salt, this game, for a game that's free and a game that you don't actually have to put any money into to enjoy. Solid game. And speaking of that, I'll move on to the next game. And really quick story about this. I know that Lloyd does Touch a Gaming, right? Mm-hmm. Some show about touching games on his iPad and stuff, whatever, right?
The game of touching.
Big successful show on VG Podcast or something. I think I've heard of that somewhere. And I scour the iOS store, and I look at games and I go, once I get down far enough on the list and I see games that I'm like, okay, well, this is like, selection 250, on the list. You can't possibly have heard of this.
And then I beat your high score.
Yeah, exactly. I download Extreme Road Trip 2 on iOS. It was a free game. And I sit down to play it one night. And I start the first level, and it's fun. It's kind of like maybe a little bit Tiny Wings, and you're kind of just like tilting your car and you're smashing into fuel barrels so that you can get more fuel into your car, and like you do perfect landings, you get nitrous, and you're just collecting coins. It's fun. It's one of those games that doesn't require a lot of your brain to play, which is really what I like to play on my iPhone. I don't like to get into experiences, but because it connects to Game Center, the first ghost I see when I go over the first hill is Dasme's car. Just goes flying in front of mine. I'm like, I finally had a game where he didn't. I figured there's no way he's played this. And
that's
the first
hilarious.
car I see is your friggin' car, the ghost flying in front. I'm like, well, that's ruined. And then, of course, I see that I think you probably saw that I put it on and then put it on yourself. Am I right?
No.
No? Okay.
Little story about Extreme Road Trip 2. When you first start the game, it says, do you want to spam all your friends and annoy them to death? In some different wording, but essentially that's what it means. And I guess everybody else that's in my Game Center says yes. So I get so many push notifications about people that have set new high score times. Like it's all like 15, 20 a day. So I had to check it out because I was annoyed with all these push notifications. And, it's kind of decent.
It's fun. It's fun.
It's fun.
I mean, for a free game, there's not much more you can ask other than, is it fun?
I'm getting sympathy
Then
from the
it's
chat
worth
room now,
downloading.
which is good. Poor me and my 15 push notifications in the middle of the night. I know life is tough.
But yeah, it's a fun game. It's it's totally worth playing, and it's just one of those games that you kill 3 or 4 minutes standing in line somewhere or waiting for somebody, or literally in commercials watching TV. That's the kind of game I like to play on the iOS. Is just okay. I jump in, play a few minutes, and then do something else. That's exactly what this game is, and it's a ton of fun.
Agree. Before you get into the H game that you've been playing,
okay.
That's funny. Trevor RA just joined the chat room. He's the hot dog dude.
YOLO pizza boy.
Yeah, YOLO hot dog pizza boy just joined the chat room, and it's pretty funny because a couple of people at work asked me about that, and they were laughing about it, so they heard the show. And I actually took the kids out to Pizza Hut yesterday, and they saw the poster for hot dog pizza, and they're like, "Hot dog pizza, we gotta get it!" And we said no. Sorry, no. We can get stuffed crust, but just with the normal cheese stuffed crust, not with gross vomitous hot dogs. So thanks to Trevor RA, I didn't have to.
Oh man,
I didn't have to
put myself
through
last week with that review.
Yeah, he took one for the team, guys.
Yeah. If I remember specifically, he wrote pizza 6 out of 10 or something like that, and then he was like, the wiener was inferior, which just was hilarious. Just it's a good pizza, but the wiener sucks.
Yeah. Wow. Anyway, I'm not going to touch that one. Operator Al in the chat room says maybe brat pizza, but not hot dog pizza.
Oh, that sounds even worse.
Yeah, that's awesome. Todias in the chat room hasn't heard of YOLO, which stands for You Only Live Once.
It's not a Canada thing, is what he's asking in the chat room. No, it's more of a you're an idiot thing.
It's kind of a meme douchebag kind of thing. So people say it all the time. So anyway,
and the last game I'm playing this week, obviously Halo 4. Going to talk about it quite often in the next few weeks. And it's fantastic.
Damn it.
If you
it sucks
want
though, right?
A quick review, it's unbelievable, and it's going to be one of those games that's a launching pad for a series, and if they can keep this thing going, it'll be fantastic. But yeah, I've been playing that all week. It has not left my Xbox, and it's going to be really tough for me to take it out when Black Ops 2 comes out this week. So that was the last game I was playing this week.
That's right. COD Blops comes out.
Yep, Tuesday.
That's right. It does. I will be in Florida, probably watching a NBA game, doing other fun things and not playing games. I really want to get Halo. I gotta get Halo.
You got it, man. You got it.
Got it. Anyway, moving on.
What have you been playing this week?
I've been playing Skylanders, really. That's all. I've been so busy getting ready for my trip, getting stuff sorted out here, doing extra work, and stuff like that, catching up on some extra stuff. So I haven't really had much time to play. So much so that I don't even think I turned on my PS3. I've only turned on my iPad for other games other than like Simpsons and the other ones a few times. So, but I've been playing a little bit of Skylanders with the kids, which has been a lot of fun. I've also been playing Extreme Road Trip 2. As Jeff said, I destroyed him on his first play, which was really great. I'm good at being the best person at a game. After I've played it, after I've played it,
competing against anybody.
But after I've played it 100 times and you've played it once, I take great pleasure in the fact that I beat you. Up until you play a few more times, and then my scores don't hold up very very well. I also picked up Angry Birds Star Wars on my iPad. And I'm not the hugest Angry Birds fan. I remember when Angry Birds first came out, before they could give it away, they couldn't give it away. It wasn't selling very well. I reviewed the game and thought it was a really interesting kind of physics puzzler. And then for some reason it just blew up like crazy. And I've picked up all the other Angry Birds just because I have to talk about them on my show. But when I heard that Angry Birds Star Wars was coming out, I knew I had to pick this one up, and mainly because my kids love both Angry Birds and they love Star Wars. So I picked this one up mainly for my kids, but I've been playing it a bit as well, and I don't know. it's kind of funny, like flinging like your red bird, who's now Luke Skywalker, and then you touch the screen and he does like this like arc with his lightsaber, destroying blocks and things like that. Definitely a lot of fun. I haven't even beaten the first world, so there's a lot to go still with the game. But my kids love it. I love it. It's a fun game. So if you have $3 and an iPad, definitely worth playing. There's also a 99-cent iPhone version, which I haven't played. But yeah, if you even kind of like Star Wars and like Angry Birds, that's definitely a game to pick up. And the chat room is giving me hard times for blaming all the guilty pleasure games on my kids. But it's true. My kids like Star Wars and Angry Birds. My daughter wears an Angry Birds shirt, which is kind of weird. But yeah. So what else? I've been playing, what's the name of the game? Oh yeah, Wraithborn, which is a kind of a top-down Diablo-esque game, $3 on the App Store, and it uses Unreal Engine, so the game looks really beautiful. I'm only about in chapter 2. From what I hear is it's only about a 3-hour game if you're playing it from start to finish, so it's not huge, but I haven't finished it yet, so I'm going to keep playing that. That's probably going to be the game that I play when I'm out in Florida before bed or on the plane or whatever. So hopefully I'll have a review of that in maybe the next episode.
Cool.
But yeah, that's about it. It's been kind of a down week. Like I said, I've been doing so much other stuff other than playing games, which is kind of a pain in the butt. But that's going to be taken care of when the WiiU comes out, because I'll be playing all sorts of stuff when that hits.
Do you have any pre-orders on like launch titles? What are you actually picking up with the WiiU?
So I have a pre-order for the deluxe edition, which is the black one that comes with the game and all the accessories and things like that, and also put some cash down for New Super Mario Brothers U, because I want to play that one as well. I'm gonna kind of play it by ear for other things. I might pick up Zombie U, maybe some other stuff. I don't know, but we'll see. There's a lot of games out which would be kind of interesting to check out, but I don't know if I want to spend the $60 on, because I probably won't play them very much. I really wish there was a way to kind of rent these now at a big, like, I wish Blockbuster still existed for this type of stuff.
For the purposes of game rental. Yeah, I totally agree,
because launch titles aren't normally the best, but yeah, we'll see.
And it's one of those tough things where I've now got to buy video games I normally wouldn't otherwise, because it's kind of a coin flip, just because it's like, well, I want to play it, but I've got no other way to play it unless my friend gets it and I play it with him, or I just go and buy it. And that kind of sucks, that we can't rent anymore. Because literally, I rarely rented movies, because I usually bought movies for my collection, but I always rented video games. Always.
No, I mean, that's how it was. Like every time a new console comes out, I would go to Blockbuster and try to be the first person there and grab all of the launch titles that were out, and spend my like $60 that way renting a bunch of games. And
yeah, you get to try like 8 games, right? Instead of buying 8 games and spending $600. It's
I agree.
Yeah, it's a sign of the times.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. Yeah. So let's get into new releases before we get into the reviews. Of course, out this week, the big one, Halo 4 came out on the 360. So Jeff has it, and it's in front of his face right now, and he'll be talking about it in the review section. Little Big Planet karting came out. So if you want, if you want a Mario Kart ripoff using Sackboy and friends,
you know what? I saw the trailer for this game today when I was looking up new releases that are kind of noteworthy. And you know what? It actually looked really interesting until I realized that it's like, okay, so this is, what was that racing game on the PS3 that was like you get to build your own course? Mod Nation Racers?
Yeah, Mod Nation Racers.
It's like a hybrid between that and a really, really crappy Mario Kart clone. And it's like, it's just capitalizing on the Little Big Planet, which I feel at this time has completely run its course. Yeah. If there's a Little Big Planet 3, I will be shocked, because I think there's nowhere to go with it.
No, I agree. And Prometheus in the chat room says that Sony's ripping off both Mario Kart and Smash Brothers in the same month, which is funny for their Sony PlayStation Battle Royale All-Star whatever the hell they're calling it these days. I've watched some more video of that, and it's like how can you not say this is a Mario Kart ripoff? It is.
Yeah.
It's exactly like Mario Kart.
Yeah. I don't know how those guys stood on stage at E3 and said, "We got this great new game."
Yeah.
And did not have a smile on their face. Like, are you
got
kidding me? First of all, I hate Smash Brothers. I really have never liked that game, but this is just a total. The fact that Nintendo didn't go for any kind of like IP lawsuit either. I mean, I'm not quite sure if they've got IP license on the gameplay itself, or it would be the characters. It's kind of confusing, but it's easily the one of the biggest ripoffs in the last 5 years.
Totally, to the point when Sony they unveiled it at was it at E3 or was it at some other conference? I can't remember.
I think it was at E3.
I think it was at E3, and they posted their launch trailer to YouTube. And when they posted it, one of the tags, like one of the keywords or whatever that you associate with your video was Mario Kart.
Yes, I remember we talked about this on These Dudes, wasn't it?
Really? You're not only ripping them off, you're you're flaunting that fact to everybody. Like, hey, it's Mario Kart, or sorry, Smash Brothers. Not, I was saying Mario Kart because I was reading it on the screen. It's Smash Brothers. It's like, no, really.
If anybody searches for Smash Brothers, we hope that they'll come to us too.
It was the worst thing ever. They announced that the final boss is going to be the Polygon Man, which was like Sony's I guess mascot for the PlayStation when it was launching. But anyway. Yeah, let's get off that. Little Big Planet karting's out if you want a Mario Kart ripoff. We also have Harvest Moon 3D: A New Beginning on the 3DS. So if you
should be a pretty good game. I mean, Harvest Moon is kind of the same all around. I've never played a bad one. They're
kind of all the same. So if you kind of like milking the cows and planting the crops and digging things, you know what Harvest Moon is. You'll probably want this one if you have a 3DS. NASCAR the game Inside Line is coming out on everything as well. So
that came out this week. I have seen gameplay of it. It actually really looks fantastic, but there are a slew of better racing games out there. Unless you're like a big NASCAR head, where it's like, I gotta be Jeff Gordon or whoever.
If you like
really
turning
is no
left,
reason to buy this game.
My God, there's the best left turns I've ever seen in a video game in this game.
That's true. It's all left turns.
And last but not least, I talked about it a little bit in what I've been playing, and that's Angry Birds Star Wars. Came out on iOS and Android. It's $1 on the iPhone, $3 on the iPad, and they probably give it away on the Android App Store because people are going to steal it anyway. So they do that, and then they put ads in it. So check that out on your platform of choice. All right, man. I think that's about it. What do you say we get into a small little music break, and then we get into HAL0Z for your review? This
music done by a local, I don't want to say video game cover group because I don't think they're that anymore. They're like reimaginings, you know? It's a different thing than Mode 7 was, but they're called Super FX. You can check them out on facebook.com/superfx. I highly recommend it. We've played music from them before. We've got Dario in the chat room right now. And this is... We were talking about it before he came in. This is the best version of the Halo theme that we've ever heard.
Yeah, it's fantastic. I agree. We were talking in the pre-show, and we both feel that way. It's
unreal.
It's it's Halo. It's not Unreal. Wrong game. Wrong game, Jeff.
My mistake. They'll do Unreal next. And we're gonna play this thing all the way through. We'll come back and do the Halo review. You got to check these guys out because they are fantastic.
Yeah,
so
we will definitely link to their YouTube channel and check them out. So this is the Halo intro theme, I guess a reimagined version, and we'll come back with our Halo or Jeff's Halo review because I'm stupid and didn't go pick it up when I should have, and we said Halo. So as USO's girl in the chat room is saying, you can feel free to drink every time we say Halo. You can drink because we say Halo. And it's a drinking game for whenever we say Halo
and enter.
And then now she's fallen on the keyboard and she's not going to be conscious for very much longer. So here we go. The Halo intro theme. Awesome. Awesome, awesome,
So
awesome. So yeah, that was the Halo intro theme.
I don't know how you can't get
by
pumped
Super
up
Effects. Yeah,
after listening to
I
that.
just want to listen to it on repeat, which probably would make for a terrible podcast, but I would enjoy it. And Dario, thanks for coming in and letting us play it on the show.
Anytime you guys got new music, send it to us.
Yeah, no, totally. And when you guys are doing a live show soon here in Winnipeg, you'll definitely have to let us know the details, and we can pimp it on the show, and maybe come out and do some interviews or something. That would be kind of cool as well.
That would be awesome.
Cool. So, HAL0Z. You want to talk about to HAL0Z there, Jeff Ward? I can't see when you do that because there's the glare on the box.
Yeah, I know. So Halo 4 came out this week. God, is it awesome? I mean, here's the thing. When Reach came out, I got it at launch, and I got Halo 3 at launch. I've actually never really been a big Halo fan, to be perfectly honest with everybody. I played Halo 3 through twice, once on solo and once in co-op. I thought it was okay, but really where the game shined for me was the multiplayer. And that's kind of the reason why I bought Reach. I never really enjoyed Reach. I still have it as a digital copy on my Xbox, but I still haven't beat the campaign, and the game's been out for 2 years. I never had the drive to. I didn't find the story all that interesting. And the multiplayer was really, really fun, but it was one where the people in it who were playing were so much better than me. It was really tough to have fun with it unless I was playing with friends, and as Reach kind of aged, less and less people on my friends list were playing it, which is why I defaulted to Call of Duty so much. And if you remember back probably a month ago or so, we did our most anticipated games of Q4, and Halo 4 was my number one game, which I was surprised that it was on my list at that high. But it's totally lived up to that. If there could be a spot 0, that's where this game really should be, because it is fantastic. A few kind of like pull quotes from this review. This is the best looking game on the Xbox 360 by far. For those of you asking, like, well, what about Skyrim? Yeah. Skyrim was really consoleized when it came to the consoles. If you go and look at it on the PC, it's night and day. I mean, it's stunning on the PC, and it is fantastic looking on the Xbox, but they're different levels. This game has been built from the ground up using every facet of the Xbox 360 hardware. I mean, it really helps that the company that produces this game also produced the hardware. So, they've got that chance to say, like, here's everything. We'll just strip the entire thing right down for you. 343 was a company that was put together specifically just to work on Halo. And they came in after Bungie left after Reach. And there was some talk for quite a while of if they could actually hack it. Is this going to be a great Halo game, or is it just going to be okay? And I am here to say that it is the best game on the Xbox 360. The best game on the Xbox 360. It's unbelievable. The campaign is 8 missions. It took me about 6 hours to finish. I beat it yesterday. And it's okay. The story is really interesting, but it's got a couple of really major plot holes that if you're paying attention enough, they won't ruin the game for you, but you'll question it a bit. But the interaction that you have is fun enough to kind of keep you going. They give Master Chief probably more lines in this game than he's had in Halo 1, 2, and 3 combined. They really kind of define his personality. And Cortana as well. They give her a ton of lines, and they have a real interesting relationship that you kind of see in this game, which has been there in the other games, but not kind of like a focal point. This is a big part of the game, is just Cortana and how she interacts with Chief and how she's interacting with other people. The story almost falls apart, but the way the story, and I don't want to do any spoilers here because the game is still so new, and I'm not even quite sure I understood the story well enough to even spoil it, but I'm going to completely avoid spoilers in general. So I might be just kind of, generalizing here. Um, it almost falls apart, but the gameplay is so fun that you don't really care. Um, the main villain is kind of a topic of debate right now because he's in the game so few minutes that he almost doesn't seem like a villain. And I'm not even quite sure I'm convinced that this game is even about him. He's really, really interesting. The voice actor is fantastic, and his dialogue is really, really cool. He's super intimidating, but there are very few interactions with him. It actually takes half the game for you to figure out who who the main bad guy is. But he's a great villain, and the payoff at the end is really fantastic. Um, but it is a very short campaign. It does feel like they are kind of telling you a really, really small segment of a story that's going to be huge. And actually, at the end of the game, at the end of the credits, there's a message from 343 that comes on that says, we really appreciate all the fans and the trust that they've given us to put this game together. We won't let you down. This is only the first chapter of a huge saga. And Tom was telling me earlier yesterday that Microsoft has already put down, the domains and all the registering of names and IP for Halo 7, 8, and 9. If you can believe that. I mean, that's really far in the future, but that's a pretty big story. Now, again, 343 is just working on Halo. That's all they're going to work on. Basically, I never would see them like making another game. Um, a lot of people kind of get angry. I won't say a lot of people because that's too general, but I've read a lot of articles where they're like, oh, Halo is just one of those franchises that's going to be sucked dry until all the creativity is out of it. And there have been two throwaway games of this franchise, and I think that ODST is a garbage game, and I think that Halo Wars, that really horrible RTS game, was a throwaway game. I think everything that's been in the main lineage of the timeline, Reach 1, 2, 3, and 4, have been solid games. This game is absolutely worth your money. And which kind of brings me into the where the real meat of the game lies, which is the online experience. Um, I'm not sure I can recommend this game if you don't have Xbox Live because the campaign is so short. It does have the local kind of co-op stuff, but you're really missing out if you don't have Xbox Live. The Infinity multiplayer matchmaking mode is fantastic. I've been playing it all week with a bunch of friends. We'll sit down and just like, the next thing we know, it's 4 hours later and we're still playing it, and it's so much fun. I've put a couple of videos and commentaries on my YouTube channel, youtube.com/veterancypher, and I am digging this game so much. I can see myself ignoring Call of Duty Black Ops 2 to play this game. That's how fun it is. And, I've bugged you a lot this week, Lloyd, about not getting this game, and it's only because you're going to have so much fun with it when you do. When you do get it, by the way, I'll give you my 14-day Xbox Live Gold card that you get inside the game case so that you get, a month's worth of gold, and then we can all play together because, man, is it fun. It is so much fun. And playing it with friends is basically where the experience lies. They also have this new thing that they started called Spartan Ops mode, which are kind of self-contained stories that can be either done solo or cooperatively. And in the game, I don't know how many are given right off the bat, but I know that a certain amount are going to come out every week for the next 10 weeks that are downloadable for free. So there is this huge amount of content that is going to be coming down the pipeline for this game in the future weeks. So you buy a $60 game, you're getting hundreds of dollars of value on top of that because of all this stuff that's coming down the pipeline. And in the chat room, everybody's saying, oh, you think Jeff likes Halo 4? He wants to marry it. That's actually pretty funny. I love this game. I really almost have no bad things to say about it.
Well,
the only things that I can say that are kind of rough is if you're really paying attention to the story, it does fall apart in some areas, and there are a couple of plot holes that just or to me, make no sense at all. But like I said, the gameplay is fun enough to keep you going. And the interaction at the end of the game, I feel, is kind of a cheat, but that was just a problem that I had with it. Again, without spoiling anything, that's all I can say. It really is one of the most perfect games I've ever played. And I have no problem backing up the fact that I've stated it is the best looking game on the Xbox 360 without question, and I think it's the best game on the Xbox 360. Exclusive and multi-platform games aside, it is such an experience. It's unbelievable. That's pretty much all I gotta say about it. It's just an entire praise of this game.
Damn you, Jeff Ward. Damn you.
Did I make you want it anymore or
no,
less?
I mean I've already won it. Like I played Halo, like the original one on original Xbox a lot. We used to drag televisions and Xboxes over to my friend's house so we could do multiplayer, like bringing like 21-inch tube televisions that weigh 80 pounds, loading up in the car, driving over to a friend's house and setting it up. Yeah, it's a game I've wanted. Halo 2 was even worse because you could play online, and I used to play 4 or 5 hours a night and play so much Halo 2, Halo 3, all that stuff. And then I didn't get Halo 4 at midnight launch, and I felt really bad for it, but now I'm kicking myself even more. So
Yeah.
I want to definitely play
Yeah,
it.
it's
So
fantastic.
I may have to pick it up
The
this
new
weekend.
enemies that are introduced in the story and the campaign mode,
Yeah,
the
they look good.
Prometheans are this really. There's kind of a. I feel like there's a little bit of a Mass Effect influence in there. The music is fantastic. It's one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard in my entire life. The way the music kind of crescendos and builds up, and almost like in a sense, it feels like the music knows what you're doing because it predicts how epic the fighting is, and then all of a sudden when everybody is dead and you're kind of standing on this vista overlooking something just unbelievable, it just kind of like subtly just brings itself down farther and farther until it's almost silent, and then kind of just brings itself back up as you decide to go off. And I don't know how they designed it, but it is near perfect in my ears. And Dario is saying in the chat room that the soundtrack is deadly. He's absolutely right. It's one of the best soundtracks I've ever heard. It definitely deserves to get that honor of being on, number 50 on the Billboard 200 that we talked about last week.
Yeah. Damn it. Okay, I may have
I'm
to go
sorry,
pick
man.
it up. I may have to go pick it up
I really
tomorrow.
don't want to like beat it into you, but there's so few bad things I can say about the game.
I'll not buy a Wii U launch title and get Halo 4. That's probably a better thing. Get the
You know
best
what?
game on the 360 or a throwaway shovelware-y kind of stuff.
Yeah, but the thing is, you never know what you're going to be getting at launch. You might actually get some fantastic games, and Halo 4 will be on shelves for years. So it's not like it's going anywhere. But if you have the money and you want something new to play, this is a fantastic game. And if you've never liked Halo before, I think this is a real good game to kind of get into the series. When you first start out, Master Chief is awakened from cryostasis, and there's a terminal that's like right underneath him. And if you go down there and you press X to interact with it, it literally tells you the entire story from Halo 1 to 3, so you don't really miss anything.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, it's fantastic.
So how crazy is Cortana in this game? That's probably spoilers.
Very crazy.
That's spoilers.
Very crazy.
Spoilers.
But it's spoilers.
Oh,
it is.
I wanna
it
go
is
get it
said a lot
now.
in the marketing campaign, so
actually, the stores are still. I could go leave now. I could just stop recording and go pick it up now. That would.
Like a Walmart or something.
Yeah, Walmart's open 24 hours. I could probably go do that. Damn it. Okay, cool. So Halo 4 is good. We should get that. It's snowing.
So I totally recommend it. There's nothing bad I can say about it. It's an unbelievable game. And you know what? I've been thinking a lot about this game of the year list that we're going to be putting together, end of December. And for the entire year, I have maintained that Walking Dead is going to be my game of the year. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think Halo 4 is going to be my game of the year.
Wow.
Because that's how good it is. And I love The Walking Dead. I think it's a brilliant game, but this game just has so much more to offer. So, really fantastic.
Wow.
Good job, 343. Good job. Because they're watching.
They are.
Yeah.
They're in the chat room right now. All right. So that's Halo 4. Go get it. Even if you don't like Halos, it is to Halos number 1. Go check it out. You wanted to chat a little bit about Smart Glass as well.
Yeah, so along with Halo 4, Xbox also released their Smart Glass app, which is on the iPhone, Android, and basically any Windows phone. So it's a free app. You can download it to your phone and you can connect it to your Xbox Live account and then, of course, to your Xbox. I'm loading it up right now on my phone. I won't be able to show too much of it on the camera because of the glare, but I can't believe how fantastic this is. Now we talked about it E3. I think it was probably these dudes on games that we were doing at the time.
Yeah.
And I was really into it. I thought it was a cool tech, and it was something that, as a companion to your Xbox, which at this point Microsoft is really driving home that they want it to be your multimedia set-top box. You watch movies, you listen to music, you go on the web, you play games. Everything you do through your Xbox. This smart glass app only enhances that experience. So, I can get my, and this actually isn't some of the new features, because if you had the Xbox Live app, you could do this before. But, I can log on to my Xbox Live. I can check my, my social app. I can see who my friends are online. I can send them messages. They can send me messages. I can look at my achievements. But what is really cool is I can turn on my Xbox, which was also not new. I can turn on my Xbox. I can control my Xbox with like a virtual kind of D-pad, which is really cool. I can launch games. Yeah. I can. I don't think you can play games. I never tried that. I don't know if you could. That would be weird if you could play a game with this as a controller.
I don't think you can.
But yeah, so you can launch games. You can interact with your Xbox. But what also does is it gives you kind of these really interesting updates and information about what you're watching. So let's say I'm watching something on my Xbox, a lot like kind of iCloud and the Apple TV. If I'm watching something on my iTunes, I can push it to my iPad or whatever. And you can do this as well with your Xbox stuff to kind of take it on the go. What's really cool about it, though, is that it kind of gives you like metadata about whatever you're interacting with. So if you go to the Xbox Smart Glass part of the website, you can see that, they're watching Snow White and the Huntsman on their TV through their Xbox, but on their tablet or whatever, they can see all the information about the movie, who is in it, what movies they're also in, like, kind of connecting the 7 degrees of whoever actor in the movie. That stuff is really cool. I kind of like to see that integration, like bring my Xbox to maybe the forefront of my living room instead of it just being a game console. And, I know that there's a lot of division on this, on people who don't like the fact that, my Xbox should be just to play games. This doesn't take away from the gaming experience at all. If anything, it only adds to the experience that you can use your Xbox for more things. And, I've never said no to, okay, I'm going to buy a $300 console. They want to give me more ways to interact with it for free. Who would say no to that? So I think it's a really, really cool device, and it's just a great way to kind of interact with things that are going on. So it's not supported by it's not supported by very many services yet, but there's games like Dance Central 3 and Home Run Stars, and it gets an extended controller, and ESPN gets an interactive companion, HBO Go. It's really cool, and it's only going to get better. It's free. Check it out. Apple, iOS, Android, and your Windows phone of choice. Really, really cool stuff. And I like to see this new kind of integration with the device I carry around with me every day, my iPhone. Make this more of a interactive device with more daily things. I think that's really, really cool stuff.
No, that's pretty awesome. And I guess the biggest part about this is they beat the WiiU to market. With their kind of tablety / game system. So
I never thought about that.
It's kind of a neat win for Microsoft, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
Which is kind of cool.
Awesome.
So
this, however, has got nothing on the Wii U controller if it really is everything it says it is. But it's cool just to kind of see.
Yeah, cool. And Prometheus in the chat room's asking what's the best feature it adds to Halo 4. Well, you can kind of see kind of like heat maps. You can see where everybody is. You can see where the flag is. It just gives you kind of an over the top view to the battle that's going on, which is kind of neat.
It's kind of like almost like a mini map that you hold in your hands, kind of. It's really, really cool. But one of the cool things is when you're not playing, you can go and check your stats. You can see previous games, how you stacked up with other players, your KD spread, all that kind of stuff. You can check your medals and all that kind of stuff that you've earned. It's really, really cool.
Very cool. Awesome. So yeah, go check out Smart Glass if you have any of the compatible devices. It's on iOS. It's available now as an update to the Xbox Live app. So if you already have that app, you just update it, and now you have Smart Glass functionality built into it, which is kind of cool. Awesome. Well, let's take a small break and listen to another random chiptune. We're gonna still do that, so it's gonna be random. Cover your ears. You never know. It's going to be good, going to be bad. We're not sure. And then we'll come back with our news for this week. So here we go. Random. The song is called Earthworm Facts, and it's by Cartoon Bomb. So let's see how this one is. And we'll catch you guys in a couple minutes. All right. Well, we got another winner. That was great. Earthworm Facts by Cartoon Bomb. It's actually part of the Chiptunes Equals Win. I want to call it an EP, but it's not. It's like, it was like 50 some odd tracks that were available for free download. So yeah, check that out. Do a search for Earthworm Facts by Cartoon Bomb, and you'll probably find a version of it available for you to download.
It was good stuff. I liked it. Yeah,
it was actually pretty good. It woke me up, which is a good thing. I was getting a little tired after a crazy, huge-ass week of work and OT. It's good to play some chippy tunes and get my brain back in the game. Mm-hmm. So let's break into the news. First up, I guess we haven't talked enough about Halo. The first story...
What Halo? What's that?
didn't. Oh no, it was a different game you talked about. Barbie Horse Adventures 3 is the one you're reviewing, right?
That's the only thing. You always go back to that game.
I'm thinking because it actually existed. Barbie Horse Adventure was an actual
Oh,
game.
really?
Yeah.
I remember another episode listening to it back, and you were talking about my favorite game, which is Barbie Horse Adventure or something.
Yeah,
I didn't think it was actually a real game. I can't believe that.
Actually, a real game.
Exists.
So it's as lame as that actually is. It is.
The fact that there were 2 more before it as well, which is terrifying.
I don't know if there was a 3. I know there was a 1, but
okay.
I'm sure that it did well. And that if it did well, number 3 should be out, and that would be your first game or your favorite game. The number 1 of your pile of awesome games would be Barbie Horse Adventure 3.
Microsoft ain't gonna pay me to play that.
No, but they will pay you to play some Halo. They have a little thing going on right now. If you're getting into Halo and you're playing some multiplayer and you're part of Xbox Live Rewards, so you signed up for that stuff where you can get rewarded for different things. Depending on how much you play deathmatch or any multiplayer mode, you'll get some Microsoft points back. If you play 140 hours, you get 600 Microsoft points. 70 plus hours, you get 300 points, and 35 plus hours, you get 100 points.
It's kind of cool.
Yeah, and this is for they're doing it for a little bit of time. I can't see right here. I think it's through all of November. It doesn't look like there's an end date. So from now till the end of November, if you get in there and play 140 hours, you'll get 600 points, which is like half of a really good chunk of DLC. You'll probably get half of the first Halo DLC paid for just by playing Deathmatch, which is what you're probably buying Halo for in the first place anyway.
Yeah, you've got up to the 30th of this month, it says in the article. And you can only get up to 800 points total. So, when you play 140 hours, you're going to get 600, but you've already got 400 from the other 2 milestones you hit. So when you get 600, you're actually only getting another 4.
They lie. That's dirty.
Yeah.
Dirty Microsoft.
And also, if you right now, if you spend at least 3,000 Microsoft points on the Halo Marketplace content, you'll get 200 Microsoft points back, which actually kind of really quickly brings us into something I didn't put on the show notes. But with Xbox Live Rewards, they're doing this really interesting thing where basically if you have a bunch of gamer score, you'll get free points. And it's not free points, it's essentially a percentage back of the points you spend. So if you've got more than 20,000, really? Which I think is their maximum, or 25,000, you get 2% back on, or 3% back on every purchase you make.
Wow, that's kind of awesome. Gamerscore actually means something now.
Yeah, it does. It's almost like, it's you're an elite player. It's actually, that's what they call it, I think. Let me kind of just find it really quickly. But yeah, it's this really interesting kind of concept where Microsoft is trying to reestablish what their store currency means. And they're also trying to, I wouldn't say get more money out of us, although that's the end goal, but they're essentially trying to make their purchases seem more valuable to the end user.
Wow.
So I brought it up here. Xbox Live Rewards is now offering players rebates on Marketplace purchases depending on their gamer score. So if you're a gold member with more than 25,000 achievement points, you'll get 2% back in Microsoft points on any purchase made each month. Gold members with more than 10,000 will get a 1% rebate, while all gold members with 3,000 plus will get a special gift in the months of their birthday, which the other 2 tiers will get as well. Nobody knows what the special gift is, but the special gift has an approximate retail value of 25 cents.
So it's a birthday hat to wear on your
it's going to be some sort of avatar award, but really, like, you're getting something for doing nothing.
That's kind of cool. It's kind of like really Club Nintendo, where you buy a game and you get these points that you can then use to get free stuff down the road. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's kind of neat. I didn't hear that. I must have missed that story. That actually sounds really interesting. I might have to go boost my gamer score up a little bit.
Yeah, you got some work to do.
Yeah,
I'm 30,000 plus now. I'm 31,400.
Really? I'm over 20,000, I believe. So I don't.
That's good. So you're in the top tier.
Yeah, nice. I can get some money back, but I don't buy many Xbox Live Arcade games. I might have to change that.
Yeah. Well, I mean, why would you when you've got free games coming down the pipeline every month from PlayStation?
Yeah, the free game this month is a little game, a little known franchise called Resident Evil. Resident Evil 5 is
I think
available.
Trevor knows about it.
The gold,
He's
the
into
gold
the indie
version.
stuff.
Yeah, exactly. So the gold version of Resident Evil 5 is available for free download if you're a PlayStation Plus member, which is just, it's kind of stupid that you're getting like a game that a year ago was $60 for nothing. It's pretty awesome.
I think it's about $25 now for the gold edition, so it's a good value. I mean, it's free. Who cares how much it costs? It could be $5. It's free, whatever.
Totally. Tadias in the chat room's asking, when will PlayStation Plus start having Vita bonuses? That's happening anytime now. They announced it at was it GDC or was it Tokyo Game Show? I can't remember. But they said that they're going to be right now. If you log into the PlayStation Store with your Vita, it'll show that you have a PlayStation Plus. If you've bought the PlayStation Plus on your PlayStation 3, it'll now show up on your Vita as well. And they're going to start offering up free games for your Vita at the same time. I guess
they had to wait until they had some games to give away.
Yeah, I mean they're not selling them, so they might as well just give them away.
Yeah.
Yeah. Terrible.
Eventually, through PlayStation Plus, you'll just get a free Vita in the mail.
Yes, exactly. If that was only true, that would be funny. Okay, cool. Moving on. Looks like some, I don't know, some people that make hardware are using Android now, and because it is free, and they're baking it into their consoles or other portable devices. And it looks like the first gaming dedicated Android handheld is going on sale. So why don't you tell us a little bit about that, Jeff?
So the company is called PlayMG. They built the device, and they're kind of hitting a young people market who want, essentially an iPod Touch that's literally just dedicated to games. It's going to ship. When the hell is it going to ship? I just had it in my head. It's going to cost $150 when it drops. But if you get it now on Amazon or directly through PlayMG, you'll actually get $20 off the MSRP. So it's this actually really cool looking, kind of almost shoehorn looking device. It looks pretty rad. But
looks like it'll be awkward to hold and not hit the Android home button and the back button when you're playing a game.
So, really the reason why I put this up here was because I kind of wanted to maybe just chat a little bit about, do we need a device like this? Because if you've got a phone already and it's Android, you can get all this stuff for free. Is there anybody who's going to spend $150 on something that's not also a phone and it's literally just a handheld that you can play Android apps on? Especially
when the Ouya is going to be coming out and is essentially that app, but as a console. Like, I don't know if there really is place in the market for it, but I mean, Android's free. They might as well try it, and who knows? Maybe they'll come out with something else that sells.
Yeah, I figure if they went to the trouble of making a stock hold of a bunch of these devices, they figure they're going to sell them out. And I figure it's probably going to make some money, but it seems kind of weird to me, right? But then again, I do walk around with an iPhone everywhere, so why would I need to buy... I mean, I did buy a Vita, but that's a real gaming piece of hardware, right? I still am not quite sure if I see these little apps like this as like a serious gaming device, which is why I think they're so suitable to a phone, because the phone... is still there. You don't walk around. I never walk around with a handheld gaming device. But if it's the market that they're targeting, maybe these kids don't have that. $150 seems pretty expensive when you can get a phone with a contract for that amount of money. So it's kind of an interesting device. It certainly looks pretty cool, but I think the bigger story there is this is the way that the future is going to be for handheld gaming. Now that we're building dedicated devices to playing apps that you can get for 99 cents or for free.
Exactly.
Very cool.
Awesome. Moving on. Jeff, have you heard about a little game called Grand Theft Auto 5? Have you heard of a small little game?
No.
No?
Is it an indie thing as well too, like Resident Evil and Halo?
No. We haven't heard of a little game called that because it's released this week through Game Informer that the game is freaking huge. So Grand Theft Auto 5, we already knew that it was coming out. We already knew that it was going to be at least as big as San Andreas, because you can drive from one city to another through the highway. And it turns out that this game is going to be bigger than pretty much every Rockstar game put together combined. So they say that it's according to Rockstar, GTA 5, their city of Los Santos, or I guess the area of Los Santos, is bigger than Red Dead Redemption, San Andreas, and Grand Theft Auto 4 combined. So
It's insane.
Yeah,
I don't even know how, like, is that as big as Skyrim? Because Skyrim is huge, but again, you can't like drive around it, right? The
Yeah.
horse only goes so fast, so
Yeah.
maybe it seems like it's a lot bigger because you're mostly walking places. But
Yeah.
oh crap,
It's it's crazy. You can even get into the ocean and swim underwater and kill things, like go fishing. Like it's huge. Like you could always do stupid awesome things in Grand Theft Auto. This looks like it's going to be just crazy. I can't wait to see more of this one. So we'll definitely be talking more about GTA as the release comes closer, which will be in spring of next year, I believe, is what they announced.
yeah. I mean, I think last week we talked about the fact that they're already accepting pre-orders at GameStop. When you call GameStop now, they're like, hey, you can get your GTA 5 pre-order. I will pre-order. It's a buy on launch for me, absolutely, because man, in the last 10 years, has Rockstar ever not made a good game?
No.
I mean,
really.
a lot of people think that LA Noire wasn't great, but I loved it, even though that really wasn't Rockstar. Yeah, I mean, their track record is, how do you argue with it?
Exactly.
How do you argue with it?
So, GTA 5 is going to be amazing, most likely, and it's going to be huge. So you can get lost in a virtual city that looks better than any other city that's ever been put in a video game, pretty much.
And what, when I hear something like this, where it's like, it's going to be bigger than the last 3 games we made combined in size, I'm thinking, what happened over the last 4 years that, developers are digging into the parts of the console and saying, hey, we can get, 300% more space city-wise,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't understand that concept because I don't know, I don't have any knowledge of programming, but that's got to be like curing cancer in that industry, right? Where they're like, oh my God, we just figured out a way to completely change the way the game is played because now we've got 400% more space.
Right. No, I wouldn't go that far. Basically,
You're not curing cancer. But...
just the fact that GTA has always been a game that's kind of streamed in. So you go from one area to another. It's not loading it all in memory. It kind of streams it in as needed. So they're just going to be streaming in more data, essentially, as you get around those areas.
Gotcha.
The thing that really makes me kind of excited is the fact that you'll be able to fly planes. You'll be able to go under the ocean. You'll be able to ride a whole bunch of different vehicles. Like it looks like their, I guess their physics engine is really well done in this game. I'm really looking forward to GTA 5. I'm very curious to see what it is exactly about. And typical Rockstar, they're not letting their cat out of the bag at all.
No, and you know what? They're one of the companies that's really, really good about keeping a tight lid on everything.
Yeah,
the
totally.
embargo that they have on not only their staff, but anybody in the press who knows anything about it is, well, I mean, they've got a ton of money behind them, so.
Yeah.
If you want to get sued into the Stone Age, go and cross Rockstar.
Exactly. Cool. Speaking of being sued into the Stone Age, our next story is about a little developer called Silicon Knights. They came out with a game called Too Human, and it didn't do so well. And they said the reason why it didn't do so well is because Sony, not Sony, Epic was not giving them the parts of Unreal Engine that they were promised. So Epic was making games with Unreal Engine like Gears of War, and they would make the game look really beautiful and then apparently not give some of that over to their licensees. So they've been in like in lawsuits forever. I don't know, Too Human came out like 3 years ago, I want to say, something like that. So
yeah, around 2008, maybe even that long ago.
Yeah, it's been out for a while, and so they've been going back and forth. And apparently, the ruling just came out, and it's not good for Silicon Knights. They are basically being they're being like charged with, like, to the tune of $9 million, and every version of Too Human and X-Men Destiny has to be recalled from distributors and game stores and destroyed. So we're talking E.T. the Extraterrestrial 2600 destroyed, where they're going to be put in a big pit and driven over by heavy vehicles. That is like unprecedented.
It's freaking hardcore,
and it's just unbelievable. I have a copy of Too Human on my shelf, so I'm going to keep it now because it's going to be it's going to be nothing really. Let's be
Yeah,
honest here.
you know,
But
it might be rare in some weird collector's eyes because nobody bought it, A, and B, every other copy was destroyed in some sort of weird Sinead O'Connor kind of thing, you know, tearing the picture of the Pope up. It's very, very strange that they're like, we have to destroy all these copies. Like, who
yeah,
does that anymore? What is this, a lynch mob or something?
oh, totally. And I mean, Two Human didn't sell very well
No,
at all. It was an okay game with many flaws, but it was a neat idea. It was like kind of Norse mythology with magic and technology. It was really cool. I was looking forward to, because it was supposed to be a trilogy, so I was looking forward to Two Human 2 and Two Human 3. Well, that's obviously not going to happen now, which is really kind of sad. But I wonder if Silicon Knights is really ever going to recover from this, or if they're going to have to close up shop. Like $9 million for a game developer that really has come out with 2 games in the last 4 years.
Yeah.
And X-Men Destiny, they basically took to develop just so they could get some money. And apparently that game wasn't very good at all.
Now, do you think that they're being truthful about why Two Human sucked? Like, do you think that Epic would literally withhold
No.
parts of an engine? Does it even work that way?
Maybe. Like you buy an engine, so they give you the code, and then Epic takes that engine and then works on their own game, and they might make tweaks to it. It doesn't mean that has to go into the engine right away. Like that's really not.
Well, and if they make a tweak after they sell it, is it on their part to say, okay, we've made a change, here you go, for free?
I don't think so. It would be for free, because any change to the engine code base goes back, and then you could just download the newer version and include it in your games, is if I understand how Unreal Engine works. But it doesn't mean that if they make like what was the big thing with Gears of War 2 was the meat cube that looked like real meat and it kind of blobbed around like real meat. They don't have to put that into the engine, so you could have your own real meat cubes in your game. That's something that they developed on their own. They don't have to put like curb stomping as an action in their engine just because it's in a game that they developed. So I don't know.
When you buy an engine, are you, as the owner of that, allowed to make changes to it?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Okay, so then they could just figure it out and code it in yourself.
Yeah, totally. And that's exactly what it is. So this whole lawsuit was kind of crazy when it first came out, and now, yeah, it's bad. Like I don't know if Silicon Knights is gonna survive this. So it's kind of sad.
They're
but
making no money. $9 million has got to be like, you got to be gutting the company at this point.
Totally, yeah, laying everybody off and selling all of your assets, unless they had a whole chunk of money that I don't know from where, because they've really not come up with anything.
Not enough sales.
But who knows? Maybe they got some angel funding or something. So
yeah,
that'll all go that way. So anyway, a huge thing in the game industry. It's kind of unfortunate to see, but I mean, that's what happens when you play with the big boys. Sometimes you lose, which is
just very, very strange too.
Yep. All right, moving on. We got a couple Skyrim news and notes. The first is that someone from BioWare, or from Bethesda, sorry, has said that the Skyrim DLC for your PlayStation 3 is close. They wouldn't say how close was, or what close means, and they wouldn't even say what DLC it is. Just that it simply is meant to inform fans new content is coming to PC and PS3. The question was trying to clarify it. Does that mean that it's like Dawnguard and Hearthstone, or whatever it was called? Hearthfire. But they don't even admit to that. So who knows if that's coming, and who knows if it's the next story we're going to talk about. Well, I gotta assume that it is those
two, unless they're like, here, PS3, here's one that we made specifically for you.
It's a virtual coloring book that we're gonna sell you for $800, or I guess like $10 or whatever, and you can add it, and then you can color, and you can have children with your wife, and then they can color too. Yay, buy our DLC. Like, who knows what it's gonna be, right? I'm assuming that it's gonna be Hearthfire at least, but who knows what's gonna happen. But it's gonna be. I
would say at the very least it's got to be this new one. But I actually wanted to ask you a question, because this kind of popped into my head when I was reading the story. Do you think that Bethesda owes maybe owes is a strange word, but I'll use it anyway, a discount to PS3 players? Like, let's say Dawnguard comes out, and they're like, will they get like 20% off or 30% off because it's been
No.
so long and
I
it was something that was promised?
I don't think so. I mean,
No.
you buy a game, you buy the $60 boxed experience. Whatever's on the disc is what you're expected to get. DLC is just that. It's downloadable content. It's add-on content, and there's no guarantees that DLC is even going to be coming. It would be nice if they did it as kind of a, yeah, we effed up. We're sorry. Here you go.
Yeah.
But I doubt that will happen. Just like if you take out your copy of Oblivion and you put it in your console of choice and you go onto the App Store or to the downloadable store, depending on the platform you're on, all of that DLC is still full price, even though the game's been out for like 7 years. So,
Yeah.
or however long it's been out. So I doubt it's going to be cheaper, but it would be really nice if they did that. It would be kind of a nice kind of, I don't know, olive branch to say, yeah, we screwed up. We love you guys. Just like we love Xbox. We don't love them more. You're all our favorite children.
Yeah.
It would be kind of a nice thing for them to do.
Yeah. And like, it's well known that they're really embarrassed that this has happened. They've
Yep.
apologized profusely on many different outlets. But yeah, it's nice to know that they're still promising it and it's not completely off the table as it seemed, 4 weeks ago, where everybody was like, it's probably never going to come to our console. That sucks.
To now it's like, yeah, it's going to be coming sometime.
Yeah. So now you don't have to go out and get a copy of the Xbox 360 version. You can still keep your PS3 version.
I saw it at the store the other day and I was thinking about our talk and I was like, oh, I should do this. And I'm like, no, I don't have enough time in the day to spend another 120 hours playing stuff over and over and over again.
Yeah.
Cool. So the next little bit of news is that a new DLC package has been announced, and it's called Dragonborn.
Skyrim, of course.
For Skyrim, yeah. And I thought you already were Dragonborn, so it seems kind of a weird name for it.
Yeah. You know what? They didn't really tell you much about the story in this, but maybe we'll. They do say that it involves the first Dragonborn, and they also are introducing dragon mounts, which is really cool.
Which is awesome.
Yeah,
I can't
and they're
wait.
also
I'll have to wait because I have a
expanding
PS3.
on. Sorry, I was talking over
No.
you there for a second.
I was gonna say I can't wait, but of course I'll have to wait because I'm on the PS3.
Yeah, exactly. Well, maybe this will be the first one that comes out for you guys because it's going to be released on December 4th. But it will come out for the Xbox first because there's that agreement with them.
Yeah.
But yeah, they also are creating a new environment to go around in, and it's, from what I've heard, huge. Now, not huge in like Grand Theft Auto 5 terms, but it's going to open a huge amount of space to kind of roam around in, new side quests, little things to do, new people to talk to. So it doesn't necessarily take place just in Tamriel of the Skyrim world, which is really cool because as cool as new DLC is, I think at this point we've all really played the hell out of Skyrim. I'm over 110 hours in. I still have plenty of places to explore, but instead of just like, okay, here's a new cave and then we'll go into somewhere, they're really opening up like an entire open area, which is really cool. So excited to see that. It's going to be 1,200 Microsoft points, so that's $15, I believe.
Yep.
And the trailer looks really cool.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. I'll link to it in the show notes. Definitely go check that one out. And last but not least, depending if you like this franchise at all, I guess, you can make your own judgments whether it's leased or not. There's new Mass Effect 3 downloadable content coming out on the end of this month, November 27th.
Yeah, real soon.
Yeah, and that is the Omega DLC. So, Jeff, you're our resident Mass Effect historian. So why don't you tell us a little bit about Omega? You are actually.
Yeah, so this, now without spoiling anything from Mass Effect 3, because the game is still, well, actually it's almost a year now it's been out. I still don't want to spoil anything. But it revolves around Arya T'Loak, who is the runner of Omega from Mass Effect 2. And basically she is tired of Cerberus, owning her station, so she's going back to take it, and she wants Shepard's help. So it seems really, really cool. I've never been a fan of the Arya character because I think she's a little bit useless almost, like for someone that when you first walk into Omega, this like, oh my God, this girl, by the way, is supposed to be the most intimidating. She's got super, biotic powers. She's, everybody's afraid of her and she runs, the entire thing. And then you walk in there and she's like, oh, here's the information you need. And she gives it up so freely that I'm like, I just don't understand your character. But either way, supposed to be really, really cool, and apparently is double the size of the last DLC. So
Leviathan,
maybe that's why the increase in price has come up, because it's also $15, 1,200 Microsoft points.
Nice.
And it's going to be available cross-platform, so 360, PlayStation 3, and PC. So that's really cool as well if you've got it on the PC or PlayStation 3.
Downloadable content on the PS3 that exists?
Apparently.
Wow.
Apparently someone has cracked the PlayStation console.
I thought it was a really intricate puzzle and no one would solve it, but apparently someone has. So
apparently all you have to do is input a code. Somebody let BioWare know so they can figure this out.
Yeah, exactly. Cool. So, that's going to about do it for news for this week. Lots of stuff to chat about. Jeff had one little thing that we wanted to kind of go over a little bit before the end of the episode. So why don't you do that, Jeff?
Yeah. So this might not be something we're going to do every episode, but I kind of want to encourage people to talk with us. If you're not listening live, the chat room tonight was insane. Big turnout, tons of stuff going on.
You're missing a fun time, people, if you don't come and join us live when we do a live show.
Yeah, so I figure that maybe once in a while we'll bring up a topic and just kind of really briefly talk about it, our views, and then ask you guys to give your views on the same thing. And this week I wanted to talk about getting video games early. It comes from my love of Call of Duty and being kind of in that community. A lot of people who are commentators on YouTube who make extremely high amounts of money putting up videos on YouTube for Call of Duty get the game early. And what they do is they go to a mom and pop shop who aren't afraid of breaking the street date, and they say, the game's $60. I will give you $500 now to get the game a week early, and then when the street date comes, all you got to do is pop your $60 in the register, and then you keep the rest. And that might seem like a lot of money. I've seen it on eBay for $11,000. Somebody bought it for $11,000. They're only going to get it 5 days early.
Wow.
So what kind of want to ask Lloyd, you, and the chat room, and anybody listening out there, send us your thoughts, vgpodcast@gmail.com. What do you think about getting games early at an inflated price? Is there anything that you would, like a week early, let's say your favorite game is coming out and you're going to get it a week early, what would you pay to get that game a week early? What's too much? Is it double price, triple, quadruple? Is it $1,000? I mean, what are we talking about here? So I'm going to put that question to you, Lloyd, just for a few minutes. If you've got an answer for that, I think it's ridiculous. I don't think there's any game I'd ever want that early. That like I'm gonna here's $300. Give me Call of Duty early.
It's redonkulous. It's beyond ridiculous. I really want a Wii U. I really, really want a Wii U. After like being kind of at E3 and then seeing all the stuff that came from it since then, I've gotten increasingly more excited for it. Just the experience. I want to see what it's all about. I wouldn't pay more than what I paid today to get it a week early. I might give them another $50 to get it a week early, maybe. And that's for a whole console. I don't know if I would do that for a game. I'm not one of those people that needs to have it. Except for certain games, I'll go to midnight launches just because I like the experience of standing in line with a bunch of other gaming geeks and talking about games and things like that. But yeah, I don't think I would ever like pay double, except maybe if you bought like a limited edition collector's edition that came a week early that has a whole bunch of other stuff with it, not just the game itself for double the amount. I don't know. What do you think, Jeff? What would you do?
Yeah, I've never had the desire to pay anything more than I'm already paying for a game. Now, if let's say I get the opportunity to see a movie at a screening 2 weeks before release,
yep,
I'd probably pay $50 for a ticket. If it's a couple weeks before, go to the movie and see it way before anybody else.
So that's five times.
I love movies a lot more. But also for anybody out there listening who thinks paying, $500 or $600 is ridiculous. There is a bit of a curve for YouTube people who are like that. So let's say they get the game a week early. Not only do they get to kind of record commentaries and videos and have everything in the queue, they get to beat the rush, but they also got to get to figure out the minor tweaks and the tricks of the game to share with people on YouTube, which will catapult them to, from let's say a 50,000 view video to 150,000 view video, which can increase their money by tenfold, so that it's more of an investment for them than needing the game early because they're fans.
Mm-hmm. No, I get it. I get why someone would want to do it. It's like, I don't know, people that sell a piece of toast that has like a picture of the of like Elvis done in mold, and then they sell it to some casino in the States because it's all advertising and it's all getting your name out there, and then you use it for other promotional type stuff. I totally get that. Personally, I couldn't be bothered. Like I said, if I could buy the Wii U tonight for an extra $50, I would do it. And then it would really suck because then I'd be in Florida and not being able to touch it, which would make it kind of useless for me to do that. But anyway, I would do that, or maybe pay double to get a limited edition version, like get the super special collector's version of a game, but get it a week early. I would do that as well. For a normal game, I'm just not that much into it, and I don't really have a vibrant YouTube channel that I really would care to get that much more traffic. It wouldn't really do much for what I do here.
Yeah. And, even a week early doesn't seem early enough to put money out. Like, I'd have to see it at least 14 days early. Like I saw Skyfall today. I'm a huge James Bond fan. If I could see that movie 2 weeks ago, I'd gladly pay $50 to see it. Which sounds crazy because it's $50 for a movie that, today, well, I got it for free because of my scene card, but, would have cost me $16.50 because we saw it in IMAX. I would have gladly paid $50 to go see that 2 weeks early. But then, of course, when the release day comes around, I'm like, crap, now I might feel kind of stupid. So it's this strange thing, right? Where you're like, well, I kind of want to, I got to be exclusive. So it's weird. So let us know, vgpodcast@gmail.com. Let us know what you think. Is there any game out there that you would buy a week early for a ridiculously inflated price? Love to hear from you guys.
Totally. So in the chat room, a couple people were, actually everybody was chatting, all 12 of them, or 10 of them. And no one was really behind it. Tadias asked, is that game signed or something special? Of course, that's not it.
Prometheus said he'd pay double the asking price for Zelda HD 1 week early.
Yeah, I could see that. You had Operator Al said there is nothing that is worth that. I kind of agree there.
Yeah.
USO's girl said maybe if I saw the movie and walked away with a code for the digital copy early, that would be kind of cool as well. Yeah. So everybody seems to be kind of on the same page. I guess unless you have a business reason for it, there really is no reason to do that. It wouldn't kill you to wait a week, but if you're trying to make a business, sometimes spending a little bit of money, you have to spend money to make money, is what they say.
Yeah, and they're getting it back tenfold on one video, so it's nothing.
Yeah, exactly.
It's an interesting concept, though. That to find people that are willing to break the street date. Because if they ever get caught, there is a monster fine. I believe it's $15,000 per copy broken on the street date to that retailer.
Wow.
If they ever found out, that's a lot of money for a store that could make $15,000 in a week.
Yeah. Tadias would pay $1 now to know next week's chat topic. I can hook you up, Tadias.
Yeah, I'll give it to you for free. There's no show next week.
That's right. So I was gonna get a free $1, Jeff. You ruined it, man.
Sorry. I gotta stick up for the people in the chat room. They had my back tonight.
Awesome, cool guys. That's gonna about do it for the bonus stage, episode 14. Thanks again, Jeff, for joining me. It was a great show. Thanks everybody that showed up in the chat room. I mean, we had Dario from to basically come here and listen to us play his music, which was really damn awesome, from SuperFX. We had
Facebook.com/SuperFX.
Yeah, exactly. We had Quirky Dog, Operator Al, Prometheus, Tadias, Trevor R.A., USO's Girl. There was a couple other people that came and went. There was a couple of people who didn't even put in a name. So we had a really good turnout. Thanks to everybody for coming out and chatting with us. It was a lot of fun to chat with you all. And if you guys would want to join the fun, like I said, we do this every Friday except for next Friday over at vgpodcast.com/live. Actually, if you go to vgpodcast.com/live, there's a schedule and we'll show you all of our recording times, and you can see when we're recording a show, and just pop in, join us, chat with us. It'll be a fun time. It's guaranteed. Not really guaranteed. So definitely let us know what you think. Head on over to vgpodcast.com, click contact us at the top of the page to send us an email. You can email us directly at vgpodcast@gmail.com or call our voicemail line, which is area code 505 VG-podcast. So again, that there is no show next week. So reminder, no show next week. But we will come at you with a lot of content the following week, with WiiU coming out, some unboxings, some game thoughts, who knows, lots of stuff, and then followed.
It's gonna be fun.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Followed by a bonus stage that Friday. So, yeah, thanks guys for coming out, and we'll talk to you in a couple weeks' time. Take it easy.
See ya.
Later.
Let's get started.